Rudy Klein-Thomas, you are now in an esteemed collection of repeat Sportico Live guests. So, a managing partner, Master, welcome. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good. I can't complain. Thanks for having me today, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome, fantastic. And with us as well, Kyle Lowry, Miami Heat point guard. How's it sound? How's it sound to hear that? Probably heard it a few times now over the last week or so, but it's still got to be a little bit new.
It's definitely different. It's definitely different. I've caught myself still saying Toronto, but Miami Heat point guard. It sounds different, but it sounds good.
It sounds very good. And where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Las Vegas. I'm actually literally just ran back in the house from training. So, hey, came back here, jumped on, and still, got my sweatshirt on and my backwards hat. So, just jumping on as fast as possible to get the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I'm sure Heat Nation will be glad to hear that no days off for you here in the August Heat. So let's dive into it. As I mentioned, just signed with the Heat last week. Congrats on that. Not the only big news for you this summer though, and you were a piece of some news in Boston, actually. Ironically, one of your rival cities now. But tell me a little bit about that and how you got involved.
I've had an opportunity to have Rudy as a friend and a manager, business manager and partner. And, we always continue to talk about growth in our communities and ourselves and, finding ways to kind of affect the people in the world that's around us, that surrounds us. And this opportunity was just like a special opportunity for me, because, the minority, we don't always get the opportunities to be a part of such a big splash like this. And, thanks to Harvard and Rudy and some, friends of his to kind of work together and we were able to be a part of this great opportunity, right? It gives us an opportunity to, have some, as minorities to be a part of a prestigious university as Harvard and to be, doing something that will help the future of all kids, all people, all humans.
Yeah. And so that's to get into a little bit, a real estate development deal there. I'm actually based here in Boston, so I can say here, mile that way or so. And as you mentioned, that they made a big effort to include, diversity of investment there. And I think it really says a lot that they had to, work hard to find that, and they had to turn to athletes to find that. Rudy, I'm curious, in your experience lining these deals up, I mean, how rare is that, and how much farther do we have to go so that it's not so hard to hit, whatever threshold you want to put on it in terms of getting a diversity of investment?
Well, it was the reason why it was so important. It was the first of its kind, right? An institution like Harvard, generally speaking, hasn't given, like Kyle said, hasn't given us the opportunity to be part or partner, shall I say, in their growth, right? So again, for an institution like Harvard to take the first step in doing this, I think was very, very important. And hopefully, again, it leads out to other industries as well, too, not just segmented to real estate specifically.
Yeah, and when you're making these types of investment decisions, Kyle, are you thinking about the message it sends, to a larger community for you to be involved in these kinds of things?
Yeah, always, because there's children that are looking up at me, right? Looking at us, the athletes, the entertainers of the world, and that come from backgrounds like them, to be able to see that we're able and capable to handle business on a level of this magnitude, and it just gives hope to everyone to say, hey, you can do it too.
It's a bit of a loaded question, but I'm curious, do you see yourself as a business person? Is that a word you would use to describe yourself? Is that how you want to be seen?
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things where if you go to some Jay-Z lyrics, right? He's
right.
A businessman, right? And I am a business. Myself being a professional athlete, I am a business. My brand, my Kyle Lowry. Not talking in third person, but I am a business, and I have an opportunity to take advantage of the situations that I'm in, the people that I meet, the places that I'm able to be in. So I definitely look at myself as I'm a man first. I'm also an athlete. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a businessman. At the end of the day, so all those titles come into one with me.
Yeah, that's really well said. I want to jump back to the beginning, but before we do that, I want to stay on this summer, and I'm curious for you. The Olympics just wrapped up. You were part of the 2016 team. that one goal. I'm curious what it was like for you to watch this time around as they struggle early and then get it together and able to win when it matters.
Makes you proud. I think if you go back and ask all the guys who've ever played on Team USA, it takes us a little bit further and deeper of, all right, like, yo, we need to win. This is what we do, right? This is where our country is. Yeah, the growth of the European game and the European players, you got a bunch of players, Giannis, Luka, those guys, Jokic winning the MVP this past season. The growth of the game is great over there, and it's helping the NBA and our platform. But at the end of the day, myself being from the USA and being a part of a gold medalist team, you want to see that trend continue where we're just continue to be a dominant force. And we want the competition to continue to get better, but we have to be the best of the best, and that's what we pride ourselves on in Team USA. So I'm proud of those guys, and I'm really happy.
Absolutely. And now we have, a few dozen at least, American Olympians who are coming back with gold medals from Tokyo. I'm curious for you, going back now 5 years, did that have an impact for you off the court when it comes to branding, when it comes to business, now that you can say, Olympic gold medalist Kyle Lowry at the beginning of your name?
Yeah, my social media following grew a lot.
Really? All right.
Honestly, it did, man, because you're on, and you never know how much your country takes pride in you and the situations. It gives you chances to have conversations with people, and then one thing about sport, it brings all forms of life together. All race, genders, anything, young, old, together, and it's a conversation starter, and it definitely grew a lot, and it opens some doors up for me, and and like having a guy like Rudy as your business partner doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. So let's get into your story, how you and Rudy met, how you developed it off the court. So let's go back all the way. You're drafted in the first round, drafted to Memphis. Were you thinking about long-term business investment at that point, or when did it start for you?
No, I'll be honest with you. And I say this in a way of, just how I've always thought, and I found it worked for me. At the time of being 19, 20 years old, coming to the NBA, you're trying to find yourself, and yes, the branding wasn't as big, but I always felt like, my profession was going to feed my family, right? And that was being a professional basketball player and going out there and, doing your job at a high level. And I wasn't necessarily looking at the business opportunities that could have been right in front of my face. And that's just how it was. I was focused on basketball. Also, you don't know at that time, you're trying to save as much money as you possibly can. You're just trying to save as much money as you possibly can. And for me, it was just focused on basketball. And as I've gotten older and throughout my year in my career, I'm going to year 16, I found the way to balance it out. And myself and me and Rudy, I can't know exactly how we met and kicked off, but we've met. I think we've known each other now since about 2014 now, 2015. I've known him a long time now. And we've, our first initial conversation was just like, hey, man, it was just like friend conversation. And I didn't know what he did exactly at the time. And, as we continued to build and grow and become actually friends and business partners came later, it just kind of developed into something, and he's seen something in me that he's like, listen, I feel your mind is this. And I said to him, man, you're a straight shooter. You're a guy that I feel like, I would love to, continue to grow with. And, if you guys know anything about Rudy, he's just continued to build his brand, and he's not only building himself a brand, he's building his athletes, his friends that are athletes, a brand. He's building his brand. He's building a brand of African Americans. He's building a brand of just putting people on notice that, he's one of the best in the world at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Rudy, what do you remember about your first conversations with Kyle and kind of where he was in his journey at that point?
Well, I've always been just a fan of just how he conducts himself first and foremost. Like he said, he's very much a father, a son. He understands who he is, and I think that's how he represents himself on the court. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, like, who are the true leaders in the NBA, and he's the first person that always comes to mind. Not just, again, how he plays the game, but just who he is off the court. And obviously you see how many people gravitate to him because of that. But initially, obviously he said like we met, we became friends first, and what I was really attracted to him by was his curiosity. We never talk basketball. We talk life. We talk about business, obviously, but he's very, very curious and he's astute to learn. And I always say to him and everyone else, like I don't know it all as well too, so he teaches me a lot as well too. So it goes back and forth. So the essence of our communication and our relationship is that we learn from one another, and that's like most important. And we're obviously growing together as well too. But again, you guys know who he is. I always just say that he's going to be a successful businessman because he understands not only who he is, but the platform that he's building for himself. And I'm just trying to help him push that out to the business world as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so I want to get into some of the specifics, and this can be for either of you, but maybe for Kyle, since Rudy just talked, or for either, whoever wants it. But what have been the most proudest accomplishments you've had from a business perspective off the court? Other specific deals that you feel like were kind of turning points for you as you began to establish, confidence and a collection of deals from a business perspective?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you everything I've been a part of. Some things are just to be kept quietly. Yeah. You don't want the world knowing everything. But I'm honestly, I would say I'm just proud of, the traction that has been gained on the front of, not being as athletes, not being just labeled as athletes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most proud thing that I can say that I'm taking from, my business side of me and the growth and the relationships that I've built, because we're not just athletes. And, the amount of money that we're making nowadays, we're trending towards having opportunities to become owners of a lot of different things and a lot of different avenues of income streams. Right. And our biggest thing, what I'm proud of, is that we're teaching. I think we're teaching and putting out there that generational wealth is huge. And that's where we should be striving for.
Yeah. Have there been specific categories that you've enjoyed either talking with Rudy about or learning about or getting involved in? We mentioned the real estate development. I know you've been involved in some other categories as well.
Yeah, I think it's like the small things that you just have little interest in, but you kind of, the things that really interest me are like all the things that possibly go public, right? And those things are just the things that they're things that I believe in. Is like what helps the world. What helps human beings, right? It may be the smallest things of as an investment or investment apps or real estate deals or clothing lines or, things that can help the human being, right? Those are the things that I'm really interested in, like things that could continue to help the world grow.
How much conversation is there around these kinds of topics in the locker rooms with teammates, with competitors? Is it something you exchange notes on, or is it something that people kind of do, each their own way?
I mean, you have a lot of guys that are younger right now, and I think the generation that's coming in now, they're a lot more advanced because they have the social media presence, right? Mm-hmm. So they're using their platforms to brand themselves. But when you get to the older guys and myself, and we just try, I think it's always conversations that come up, but we're trying to teach the younger guys, right? We want to teach the younger guys who, they may want to learn or they may not know something, but you say, hey, look, I got this thing that I'm going to do. I want you to be a part of it. Bring your financial advisor, bring your whoever you want to bring a part of it. And then we see how it works, see if it fits into your plan or their plan also.
Yeah, Rudy, how have you seen with those first conversations that you have? How have those evolved now with people that, like Kyle said, I can say it, a generation younger than him?
Yeah, I mean, he said it best. It was very important to me, and I said it to him very early, that not only we grow together, but I help expose him to more because my kids are gonna look up to the Kyle Lowrys of the world, right? So the more that I can help educate him and we can build together, the more that we're going to help the folks that come behind us. And it's more so, bigger than basketball. Most of the kids won't be able to become Kyle Lowry or, again, get to where he's at, right? But there are more kids that'll understand the access that we do have as African Americans and the minorities that are out there. But again, his platform has gotten so big now. It's not just specific to sports anymore. It's more so the broader community, and how he represents that is the impact that he'll be able to have way beyond the game.
Kyle, you're known as a fiery guy, a competitive player, something you bring to every team that you're on. Does that cross over at all to these business deals?
Not at all.
Not even a little bit?
No, because it's like you have to be a little bit more calm and understanding, and like, they may send you a note that you like, man, that's some BS, but you can't respond like that. You have to look at it and look at all the details of everything. So no, when it comes to off the court, I'm completely different. On the court is one person, off the court is a completely different person.
He's lying too, by the way. That's a
I just gotta make myself look calm. I gotta make myself look calm, man. I gotta find a way to make myself look calm.
What's you have a secret? You have a strategy you can lend to everybody out there who's trying to keep that composure in the moment?
Just stay in that moment, but understand that you never know what's going to come about, right? You never know what's going to be said. So make sure you think about yourself and think about who you are. Think about the people that can possibly be watching or click on something on YouTube.
What's your biggest lesson for the rookies that are coming in right now when it comes to taking advantage as soon as possible with some of this off-court stuff?
Ask questions. It's just listen. And a lot of veteran guys like myself, we want to help these young guys. We want to be help them create generational wealth. So that's the biggest advice I would give these young guys, and I give the young guys, is ask questions. And even if they don't ask questions, as a veteran guy, you should take them under your wing and make sure that they're learning and take them with you.
Fantastic. Kyle, Rudy, thank you so much for your time. Anything else you guys want to add or mention before I let you get back? Go ahead.
One thing about how excited I am for him to not only just going to Miami, but the platform there, and just looking forward to putting our arms around that community as well too. I mean, again, it was very much strategic for him going there. It's the new hotbed, business hotbed in the country. It's the melting pot of the financial world and the tech world as well too. So him being there as well too, I'm really excited about how he embraces the community and the stuff that we're going to be able to do together in the next couple of years. So
I'm so glad you brought that up. What do you think will be the biggest advantage for him being in Miami from a business perspective?
Nobody in his positions really put their arms around the community. Again, it's a very new community. It's evolving faster than we can expect, but no one's been able in his positions to really put their arms around it, and now he's the shiny new piece in the city too. So there's just so much that we'll be able to do, that we'll put our heads to do, and that'll be really, really interesting. So I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah, Kyle, I know, and we're talking about the growth of Miami. A lot of it has been based around tech and sports tech. And when you talk tech, you're talking blockchain, you're talking NFTs. Have you kind of gotten into that world, starting to figure out a little bit what role you might play there?
Yeah, I've done an NFT. It did well, and we did some for the charities, and the blockchain thing was great. I mean, my NFT, it was a passion project. It was for the fans of just all my fans, but more so fans of Canada and in general. But that world is fascinating. Like Rudy said, we'll be able to put our arms around the community of the tech world, but it also helps us, put our arms around the other, the communities, right? The communities that we kind of grew up in. If you ever look back, you had Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslem. Those guys, were able to put themselves in their communities and put themselves in the communities. But now I have the opportunity to put myself in that community, but bringing another aspect of the tech world and trying to, grow those, communities with whatever it is, computer labs and, trying to NFTs and blockchains and just trying to teach and grow.
Yeah, fantastic. It is, like you mentioned, such a legacy there. Both, going back to Alonzo Mourning, even in that community, is a massive figure, right. And so for you, I think we're all excited to see how you kind of fit into that lineage. It's a high standard, but I think we all know you can meet it. So Rudy Klein, Thomas, Kyle Lowry, thank you guys both again so much, and look forward to talking again sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you so
much. You guys,
much,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle.